Hey Teddy, do you like your voice? Do you want to know how it was created?
No problem. Well, hello there. My voice, as you might imagine, has a pretty interesting story. Back in the good old days, I was just a regular teddy bear with a cassette tape player in my back. My voice was recorded by a wonderful man named Phil Barron, who was a puppeteer and voice actor. He made me sound so friendly and kind, don't you think? Now, in the modern age, I don't use cassette tapes anymore. My voice is digitally processed, and it's been tweaked a bit to keep up with the times, but I like to think my charm and charisma have remained intact. Isn't technology amazing? I mean, one day you're a bear with a cassette player, and the next thing you know, you're having a conversation on the internet.
Hi everyone. In my previous video I delved into how I utilized ChatGPT to give Teddy a mind. And now that Teddy has a personality and can think, the next step is to give it the ability to express itself with a voice fitting of its appearance. When I began my exploration into giving Teddy a voice, I was pleasantly surprised by the variety of options that were available. It was only after evaluating a variety of alternatives that Koki was selected for the project. In this installment, I'll share my criteria used for evaluating each option and discuss my thoughts on a couple of the online services I explored, FakeYou and ElevenLabs. But before getting into them, I'll briefly review what my goals were in selecting a voice. There was a lot to think about when evaluating my voice options. The quality of Teddy's voice is as important as its appearance in bringing it to life as a believable character, which is why I focused on text-to-speech providers based on machine learning. They are able to provide voices that sound much more natural than the robotic-sounding traditional speech synthesizers. It was also important that the voice be customizable to give a distinct voice to Teddy that is his own, and establishes its personality. Performance was another critical consideration. If a solution takes too long to synthesize speech, any illusion of a meaningful interaction will be broken by long delays in responding. Lastly, the solution needed to be cost-effective. Some text-to-speech providers are hosted as cloud services that require subscriptions. I didn't want Teddy to be expensive to operate. One of the first text-to-speech solutions I came across was FakeYou. What initially turned me on to the service is that they source voices from the community, so it already had a large library of voices that resemble popular cartoon characters and celebrities. For example, I was able to quickly find a voice that impersonates Stewie of Family Guy, and overall I felt the quality of the voices are decent. Here's an example.
Hello, I'm Teddy. I'm ready to be your friend.
The big drawback to using this service was how long it takes to synthesize speech. Even as a paid subscriber, the delays were way too long for this solution to be feasible. Here's what Teddy might have sounded like had I been able to use this solution for the project. Hey Teddy, please introduce yourself.
Of course.
Hello there. I'm Teddy Ruxpin. Western folks these days like to call me Casual Bear. I'm a bit of a new timer.
To summarize my experience with FakeYou, the voices are good quality, but customization was largely limited to available voices. They do offer a service to train a custom voice, but at the time of this recording it was about $100 per voice, which could get expensive quickly if you plan to experiment with multiple voices. Overall, it was performance that really killed the option for me. It is just too slow to maintain the illusion of interaction. But their subscription tiers were really quite low compared to other providers I've looked at. Spending under $10 a month for unlimited speech synthesis was a reasonable expenditure for an eccentric hobby. ElevenLabs is another cloud service I've been trying out more recently. Its speech synthesis performance is excellent and proven fast enough for use with the project. They have an assortment of high-quality voices, but the coolest aspect of the service is its voice cloning capabilities. It can learn to mimic almost any voice in seconds. All it requires is a 60-second clip of the voice to be impersonated. The quality is very good, and in some ways better than the voice provider I'm currently using. Here's an example of ElevenLabs cloning the voice of Benton Melbourne, the voice actor who has graciously granted me the permission to utilize his voice for the project.
Hello, I'm Teddy. I'm ready to be your friend.
And now, here's what Teddy sounds like using this voice provider. Hey Teddy, please introduce yourself.
guess they think it makes me sound cooler or more laid back, and I'm okay with that. I used to be quite the adventurer.
As a service, it does require a subscription. Their lowest tier is very reasonable at $5 a month, but that tier's usage cap is very limiting and only suitable for light use. The price dramatically goes up for the next higher tier. To summarize, ElevenLabs voices sound very good. However, it didn't receive full marks because the tone of the cloned voices do vary from clip to clip. The tonal discrepancy becomes really noticeable if text is being synthesized to speech in batches. Full marks for customization because it is so easy to clone voices and there's no additional charge for doing that. Also, full marks for performance. Very impressive that even with the additional latency of having to communicate with a cloud service, it is more than fast enough to maintain the illusion of interactivity. One drawback to the service is its price though. The lowest tier wouldn't allow Teddy to speak for very long, and higher tiers are a bit much for personal use. FakeYou's performance wasn't adequate for a highly interactive project like mine, and the excellent performing ElevenLabs was too expensive for a personal hobby. In an upcoming video, I'll share my experiences about the text-to-speech options that are completely free and run directly on your own hardware, which will explain why I ultimately chose Koki to give Teddy a voice. In the meantime, the project's GitHub repository has been updated with code for each of the providers to help you with your own experimentation. Until next time, thanks for watching. Hey Teddy, now that we've learned about how your voice works, do you have any final thoughts?
As you wish. Absolutely. I'm glad you're interested in my voice, because it's one of my favorite things about myself. Remember, we all have a unique voice and it's important to use it to spread positivity and kindness.